What is up guys, it's your boy Solam here, back with another Classic WoW Season of Discovery video for you. Now, we've already talked about all of the brand new abilities coming out in the Classic WoW Season of Discovery, and there's a bunch of new abilities. Every single class is getting 12 brand new abilities that are discoverable through something called the runes, and they're basically discoveries. You find the runes in the open world, and Blizzard has actually clarified more about how you get the runes. They're either going to be part of chain quests, so you can talk to NPCs and find clues on how to find them. Some of them you get from quests, or you get them from opening a chest in a Goldshire, and stuff like that. It's basically just going to be exploration in the open world, and they're part of like discoveries. You have to discover them in some way, shape or form, and the more impressive ones, like the best ones like visually, like Metamorphosis for example, is going to be part of a chain. So you have to find people in a chain, probably a chain quest, or talking to NPCs in different zones and finding clues about where to go next. So it's going to be like a secret finding community within World of Warcraft. Now, the video that I made talking about every single ability, like once again 12 per class, that is a long video. So today I want to take a look at the brand new class and role combinations that we have access to now in Classic WoW Season of Discovery with all the abilities we have. So for this, once again, Wowhead has compiled a really good list that we're going to check out and take a look at. So here we go. All of the brand new class and role combinations in Classic WoW Season of Discovery. If you scroll down, Blizzard announced WoW Classic Season of Discovery at BlizzCon 2023. Revealing that the new season will have a rune engraving mechanic unlocked from discoveries that will enable new roles for certain classes. For example, Warlocks will be able to tank thanks to the new Metamorphosis rune. Here is a breakdown of all the confirmed class and role combinations coming to Season of Discovery so far. So here we go, here is the actual showdown. Let me just see that it's showing on the screen. Yes it is. So Druid once again, tank, DPS and healer, Hunter being DPS, Mage, DPS and healer. So mages can actually be a healer. Then you have Paladin once again coming back with, you have regular tank, regular DPS, regular healer. You have Priest, which is also DPS and healer. Then you have Rogue. Rogues can tank and DPS. Shamans can tank, they can also DPS and heal of course. Warlocks can also tank and DPS, and then you have warriors being tank and DPS, kind of on the side here, so instead of scrolling out, like warriors, DPS and tank. I feel like, for me, the breaking point would be if a warrior could heal. Like, mage healing kind of makes sense, because once again it's from Arcane and it's temporal healing, which does make some kind of sense. Let's go through them. Let's go through all the runes that allow you to do these things. So here you have the mage healer rune called the Regeneration. Engrave your chest or robe with the Regeneration rune, so you have to use this on your chest. So you can't combine several runes that can be used on the chest. They're basically bound to one item, and this one is for the chest or robe. Heals the target for 485 health over 3 seconds and applies something called Temporal Beacon for 30 seconds. You can also use this to record the subject's space-time position, and 100% of all arcane damage done by the caster will then be converted to chronomatic healing. Chronomatic healing here is important, and divided among the caster's current temporal beacon target. So basically you can use this on multiple characters. They will then get a 30-second buff of them, which is a beacon, and then all damage you deal will then heal your beacons. So you're a healer, but you're dealing DPS while also healing. So you're a healer DPS. It sounds really cool, I'm not gonna lie. Then you have the Warlock Tank rune, that is the Metamorphosis rune right here. Transform into a demon, increasing armor by 500%, reducing the chance you'll be critically hit by 6%, increasing your threat by 100%, transforming the functionality of some of your brand new abilities, and granting some new ones. Searing Pain is now instant. Shadow Bolt becomes Shadow Cleave, a shadow melee attack that hits up to 3 nearby enemies, but also has a 6-second cooldown. Then you have Curse of Recklessness, now also taunts your target to attack you for 3 seconds, but also once again gains a 10-second cooldown, and range is reduced to melee. You also get access to some new abilities there, called Demonic Charge for example. Charge an enemy and stun it for 1 second. This one cannot be used in combat, so it's a charge. You have Demonic Howl, forces all nearby enemies to focus attack you for 6 seconds, so an AoE taunt. Really good for tanking right here, and seeing tanks or seeing warlocks being played at BlizzCon They are a competitive tank. Not only are you tanking for a certain amount of time, you're actually being a tank. So Warlock tank looks really good so far. And you also have a rogue tank rune. Now there's several rogue tank runes, but this is like the main one. You also have like other runes that will give you more parry and more dodge and stuff like that. But basically just a flesh wound, engrave your chest or robe with the just a flesh wound rune. This one makes it so you take 20% reduced physical damage while blade dance is active. Additionally, you have 6% reduced chance to be critically hit by melee attacks, the threat generated by all your actions is massively increased, and your feint ability is replaced by tease, which taunts the target to attack you. So feint is now a taunt, you take less damage, and you have less chance to be critically hit and stuff like that. Alongside this, you also get other runes to increase your parry chance, and rogues as well, once again looking like a really good tank. The only thing here is that once again you take reduced physical damage, but what if someone is an elemental, only dealing fire damage? For example, in Molten Core you have a bunch of elementals. What about like spell damage? That could be interesting, but those are the ones right here. There's one more they didn't really mention here, and that is the Shaman tank rune, so I kind of want to show you that one at the same time. And for this one we can go to rune engraving and new class runes. For the Shaman rune, take a look at Way of the Earth. That is the Shaman rune that allows you to tank as a shaman. This one engraves your pants with the Way of the Earth rune. While Rockbiter weapon is active on your main hand weapon, you deal 100% increased threat, gain 30% health, and also take 10% reduced damage. And you gain 6% reduced chance to be critically hit by melee attacks, and Earth Shock now becomes a taunt. Taunts targets attack you and has a separate cooldown from other shock abilities or shock spells, but has its range reduced to melee range. So Earth Shock is now a taunt, but you have to be in melee to use it, and you can basically use a Earth Shock then a Fire Shock right after each other, because once again, Earth Shock is now on a separate cooldown. So if you're using this ability right here, or this rune, think of Earth Shock as a taunt. Don't even think about it as a shock, just it's a taunt. So this is really cool. 4 brand new abilities, or 4 runes that completely alter the way the classes are played. To me, this is really, really cool. Which class are you going to play in Season of Discovery? Have you made your mind yet? Like, for me, it's between 3. I'm considering Feral Druid, I'm considering Warlock, and I'm also considering a Shaman tank. Let me know your picks in the comments down below. There is one more thing worth talking about here, and that is not really like a class role combination that has changed, but is the fact that Hunters can DPS. Hunters can still DPS, but Hunters are usually only ranged. There are some runes coming out now which lets you be a melee Hunter. It could be scuffed, but I didn't really see anyone play melee Hunter in the BlizzCon beta, or was it beta? Like demo basically. Didn't really see anyone play a melee Hunter. But you have 2 very important abilities here from runes that will allow you to somewhat be a melee hunter. The first one I want to take a look at is called the Flanking Strike. You and your pet deal simultaneous 100% instant melee damage. Afterward, your Mongoose Bite and Raptor Strike deal 10% increased damage for 10 seconds, stacking up to 3 times, so up to 30%. And Raptor Strike also has a 20% chance to reset the cooldown on Flanking Strike. So basically, use Flanking Strike, then spam both Mongoose Bites and Raptor Strikes to get 30% increased damage, keep spamming, hope it refreshes the cooldown, and if it does, just use Flanking Strike one more time. You also have something called Carve all the way down here, a sweeping attack that strikes all enemies in front of you for 50% weapon damage, and this one is for gloves, the other one is for legs, so you can use both. You have Flanking Strike, then you also have Carve. You can combine this with one of the chest enchants over here, so basically all of them are ranged except for example, the second one, the Lone Wolf. You deal 25% increased damage with all attacks while you do not have an active pet. You could go for that one on the chest, for example, to deal even more damage yourself, but in that case you don't have a pet, which kind of goes against Flanking Strike, which is you and your pet deal simultaneous damage. So yeah, either way, really cool combinations to be made here, like altering once again the gameplay, having access to brand new kind of roles, shamans being tanks, mages being healers, rogues being tanks, warlocks being tanks, and hunters having a melee hunter type of spec. It's going to be really fun to see how this plays out, and to be honest, I'm really looking forward to the season. The good thing is, once again, we can play it really soon. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, just a quick recap of the brand new roles and class combinations coming out in the brand new season, just for anyone who didn't really want to spend 40 minutes watching the entirety of all the runes. So hopefully this video helped you out. I'm gonna close it before it's 10 minutes, so once again, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, leave a sub. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you again very soon. Peace.